Hi Virgo, here is your July guidance. You got the card of nature. So this is make all about, you may just wanna, you may feel more reflective, more sensitive. Maybe just spending more time outdoors. It's the summer, you may be feeling more connected when you're out in nature. I think the answers, the guidance will come when you sit quietly. I also would say to you, there's a reflective energy around you. The past, it's not as if the past is calling again, but there's something to do with the past. Maybe you're reflecting on the past. But there's also something where you're going to be looking to where you're heading, to the future as well. There's things aren't, this pathway ahead of you is not set in stone. So I know you like to know how everything's going. I wouldn't necessarily plan things, or next 2 years going to be doing this and doing that. Allow room for maneuvering, because you have got some twists and turns coming in around. I think some of these things are going to go further as you go further into the year. Could be brought to you by other people, other situations, so it's nice to have like a plan, but you need a sense of freedom, because you have changes that are going to come into your life as well, maybe brought by other people as well. So I'm not telling you don't plan too, I wouldn't plan too far ahead, because also with the card of nature, you're shedding and changing. So what you want today, you may not want in 6 months or 8 months as well, So there is a sense of also depth in this card. So you are either in a deep time, or you're going to go into a deep time of reflection and stuff like that. I would say if you haven't let go or healed the past, it's going to rear its head a little bit, but that is just to sort of like release it and let go. There is something also about you and your who you are as well. So there's a sense of like some of you thinking about, where am I going, what am I doing, who am I, there's a depth, there's a deepness. It doesn't mean you'll be like that every day. You're just in this kind of changing phase, I think. And the nature card really roots us and connects us back. So the nature card can also be the roots, which can be like the base chakra. And it can be sort of like really making sure we feel quite rooted, So you will be looking further ahead. You will be making plans. You will be thinking about like where you're heading. But you've also got this wind of change that's coming in that sometimes may sort of like knock you off course a little bit, but that's okay. Just have a sense of like freedom, because I always feel with this card, though it's calm, there's unexpected things that are yet to come into our life that can change the course of action. So and also I would say it really is important for you to sort of like meditate. Now, not everyone's going to sit cross-legged. Maybe it's just a case of sort of like just sitting with a coffee and just being and breathing and stuff like that as well. Because this card can also say sometimes we don't like to be in our thoughts. Sometimes we like to be distracted by everything around us, because we don't really want to think about where we're going or where we're heading, or our truth. But this is a very deep time for you, Virgo. This is a very deep time. It's not a bad time. I just think you've got like a lot of changes coming up, but I think it's going to be people around you that's going to bring in those changes. Some of you also will be thinking like about maybe relocating, or something about maybe where you live, I feel. Again, it might not be all down to this month. And I think there's also something of, not all of you, but there's adding another element to your work or your career. So there might be something else you add in and stuff like that as well. I do see sort of like photographs in my head. So maybe there is a reflection. Again, we're in Mercury retrograde. Mercury's your planet, so you may be thinking back to the past a little bit. Don't compare things to the past, but also allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to trust the process as well, but just don't plan, throw some freedom, let the wings of freedom flow around you a little bit. You always got to know how everything's going to be. Well, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to. So, like I said, stay rooted, stay grounded, but just bear in mind as you go further into this year, there might be some unexpected things that come up from other people that knock you off course a little bit or change your direction, but it doesn't mean it's the end of the world.